All right, let's move along to the next topic here, and that's really just the injury report in its entirety. Okay, I want to spend a few minutes kind of diving into this. I'm getting caught up. I was on the road pretty late last night, so I didn't get a chance to really dive into these. So we're just going to kind of do it in real time with the listeners, with the viewers. And if you guys would, everybody in the chat, smash that like button for me. We greatly appreciate it. Here is the injury report as it sits right now. Rob Domofsky tweeted out a mere 20 players on the Packers injury report. It's just wild. Every week we think it couldn't get worse, and it just seems like somebody else gets added. But here is the official injury report. All right, we're not going to talk about the full participation players, okay? Let's key in on the did not participate first, and then we'll comb through the limits, okay? We'll just go that route. So, did not participate was Quentin Bohanna, defensive lineman. He's ill, they said. So he's got an illness along with Bo Melton. So Bo Melton and Quentin Bohanna, they both have some kind of sickness that's been going around the locker room. So, will they be available? I don't know if they'll be active on game day or not. You hope Bo is. Bohanna is not that big of a deal, obviously, in my opinion. Now, unless you get someone else on the injury report at the defensive tackle position that's going to warrant you maybe trying to rush him along a little bit there. Other did not participates on this is Zach Tom with the back/knee. So again, when we first reported on Zach Tom, we were hearing 1 to 3 weeks was the injury, right? And, my opinion was hold him out till he's fully healthy. And if it comes down to you having to use week 18 to try to lock up a playoff spot and he's, 90%, then put him out there. Now it's worth risking further injury in order to make the playoffs, right? And Zach Tom is a very, very key piece to this Packers team, obviously. So it looks like that's the direction they're going. Now, we'll keep an eye on that with Wednesday and Thursday's injury report because, again, Zach Tom may pop up tomorrow, be limited, then full participation Thursday, and we're off and running. That's great, right? But, again, the early indicator was that it was going to be 1 to 3 weeks for Zach Tom, 1 to 2 weeks for Evan Williams. We'll talk about Evan Williams here in a minute. So I would say Zach Tom's going to be out in this game. And you know what? I'm okay with Darian Kennard playing right tackle, to be honest with you. I'm totally cool with that. Or Jordan Morgan. I mean, that's probably the direction they'll go. You just don't want to put Zach Tom out there and hurt him even more. And then all of a sudden you don't have him for week 18. And there's a chance you might not have him for week 18 anyway, right? But this gives you the best shot by sitting him out. I hope they keep him out. That's just my personal opinion. Let me know in the comments how y'all feel about that. Christian Welch did not participate with the ankle, and that's the only did not participate, all right? So, again, just a recap. Quentin Bohanna, Bo Melton both have an illness they're dealing with. Zach Tom with the back/knee. He probably will not play, and Christian Welch probably will not play, I would imagine, with the game coming up here on Saturday. So those are the did not participate. Now, let's shift gears to the limited, okay? Limited, Aaron Banks with a neck injury, okay? But like I said, practice it in a limited fashion. Josh Jacobs with the knee/ankle. So now it looks like he's got an ankle he's dealing with along with the knee. He's limited. We know how this is going to go. Josh Jacobs is probably going to go out there and play football. He's just a man bear like that. I made my opinion very vocal last week. I wish they would have shut him down for the Bears game and build a game plan around Emmanuel Wilson and Chris Brooks and Savion Williams as your running backs. And which, by the way, how cool is that? How valuable is Savion Williams that he can play all these multiple positions, right? I mean, he can return kicks. He can play running back. We've seen him play a little F. I haven't seen him play X yet. It's F and a little bit of moving Z. And sometimes the water gets muddy between the F and the moving Z. But you're seeing a guy that's been pretty damn valuable, right, as a rookie. He hasn't played a whole lot of snaps, but you're seeing kind of a versatility there. And once he does get fully healthy, I think you're going to have a heck of a player. So, but with that being said, with the limiteds here with Josh Jacobs, I was hoping they would hold him out last week and let him get healthy for week 18. They're obviously going in a different direction, and Josh Jacobs has kind of been pushing back on Coach LaFleur, and I blame the coaches for that. I don't blame Josh Jacobs. I've heard some people say Josh Jacobs needs to do what's best for the team and sit down until he's healthy. I agree, but players want to play. And when you're a leader like Josh Jacobs, it's the coaches and the trainers' responsibility to go, Josh, I'm sorry, dude. We're not letting you go out there. Let's let this thing heal up as best possible. Now, we're not behind the scenes. So maybe the injury report suggests it's not going to get better until he has surgery in the offseason or something. Maybe there's something like that going on. We don't know. When I say surgery, like maybe a scope or something, right? So that might be kind of why the coaches are like, yeah, let's just take this thing as far as we can go, right? That could be the case. But nonetheless, he was limited. Jordan Love, like we said, limited with the left shoulder/concussion. if you guys are watching this video back later, you can go to the previous video that we did, and that's where we kind of specifically talked Jordan Love and Malik Willis. So, in case you're wondering why we're just breezing over that, Aaron Mosby with the ankle, limited. Sean Ryan, guard with the knee, limited. Of course, he's our starting center now, right? So that's kind of a big deal. We'll keep an eye on that. Jordan Riley, defensive tackle with an ankle, limited. Lucas Van Ness with a foot injury. He'll be limited, I think, for the rest of the season, to be honest with you guys. And then we've got Josh Whyle tied in with the concussion. Guys, getting him back this week is going to be great news. It's just like with Jordan and his concussion. Both of them are limited. That's a good sign, right? Last week, Josh Whyle, I think it was last week, it was just did not participate pretty much all week long, right? So we kind of knew, okay, he's not going to clear concussion protocol. So getting him back is going to be huge for the offense. I think he's played a key role in the limited snaps he's had. Also limited, this is the big news for me, Evan Williams. We talked about last week, 1 to 2 weeks was what we were hearing on the streets out here. And, some people wanted to put him out there. I said last week, sit him down. Him and Zach Thomas sit their butts down. They did that with both of them. Well, we seen Evan Williams warming up in pregame before the Bears game, and he looked really good, right? I mean, he was cutting hard. Now, granted, he wasn't in pads and everything, but he was cutting hard, shifting fine, acceleration looked good. I think he's going to be good to go this week. Now, if it comes game time and they go, he's not quite there, hold his butt out. Again, I would love to win the North, but not at the detriment of going into the playoffs completely banged up, right? Because we've seen, I want to ask you guys a question. That Bears team running victory laps over beating the Packers and having to do it in the last 5 minutes and a recovered onside kick and 2 blown coverages and blah, 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 right? Like everything. I think we had a 90 or a 90. I think somebody said 99% chance. I think it was a 90% chance of winning that game. And the Bears came back and won it, right? Because everything kind of fell apart. Do you guys think that Evan Williams would have made enough of a difference to win that ball game? Because I do. Like when you look at, kind of some of the blown coverages and things, and I know it was key that blow the coverage, but at the same time, if Evan Williams is on the field, I think he's that big of a difference maker. I really do. I think we probably win that game if he plays. Now, I'm not saying they should have played, and you guys know I was in the opposite direction. I'm just simply saying anyone who seems to think that the Bears are the better team than the Packers, I just don't see it. I really don't. So with that being said, Evan Williams being limited is a good sign. So it's going to probably come down to a game time decision. If it's up to him, he'll probably go out there and play, but we'll see if the coaches keep him out there. And again, if he's not, if the training staff cannot tell me there's no chance of injuring it further, right? He's good to go. He's 100%. Put him out there. If not, hold him out till week 18. And then you got John Williams, who the 21-day practice window has been opened up, right, with back injury. He had back surgery. He was our 7th-round pick. He was limited as well, so they still haven't activated him. I think it'll be still be another week or two before they do that, I would imagine. And then, of course, you got Malik Willis limited with the right shoulder, which we talked about on the previous video. So that's kind of how I'm looking at this injury report on the Packers side. I want to know what you guys think in the comments. So let me know. How do y'all feel about kind of what I suggested? And maybe you got a little bit better plan there. Let us know in the comments. Let's move on to the Baltimore side. And let's start with the did not participate. And this is a big one, guys. Lamar Jackson, quarterback with the back injury. He got hurt in that game the other night as we were watching everything unfold. And they said he was having trouble moving, right? Twisting. It looked like, if I remember correctly, it was like almost like a scramble up the middle and he gets tackled, or maybe he just got hit. I just remember him falling forward. And then from that point forward, he was wincing in pain on the sideline. Well, now we know it's a back injury. At the time, they were saying it might be an oblique. It might be a chest injury. We don't know what it is. It is definitely a back injury. Anybody who's ever threw their back out, you might see a back, okay, well, how bad? No, trust me. It can be the tiniest little tweak in your back, and you feel like you can't breathe, you can't move, you can't bend over, you damn sure can't run, you can't twist. There's no way you could throw a football, right? So I think Lamar's probably going to be out in this game, unless it's something specific where they can maybe shoot him up a little bit and just kind of mask the pain. I do not see him playing in this game. Now, some people see that and go, oh, that's great news for the Packers. I agree, it is great news. But Snoop Huntley, man, he's a hell of a quarterback. He's cut from the same cloth as Lamar Jackson. Now, he's never been an MVP caliber quarterback, but he's a guy who knows the system really well. He's extremely mobile, and I think he's a fairly accurate quarterback. So let me put it this way. I think Snoop Huntley, if you put Snoop Huntley on the team with the Bears as their quarterback, I think they're a much better team than Caleb Williams being their quarterback. That doesn't mean Caleb Williams is not going to be a better quarterback long term. He's starting to show signs of that. but I think Huntley does a better job of playing within the scheme, and he's more accurate than Caleb, at least from the pocket. So I think that Huntley it's not going to be a huge drop off from Lamar Jackson is what I'm trying to say. I do think they got one of the better quarterback rooms in the league. So Lamar Jackson being out most likely would be huge. Now there's a chance, like I said, we could look up. I think Thursday it'll be questionable will be the call, either questionable or doubtful. But there's a chance you look up on Saturday night and he's active, right? And maybe they give it a go. And then if the pain meds wear off, you throw Snoop in there. I can see them going that route because they're playing for their season too, right? They've got to win out, and I think Baltimore's or Pittsburgh's got to lose out, and they could win their division still, if I remember correctly. So that's kind of how that's shaking out. Let's see what we got here. Keyron in the chat says they said it's a bone bruise in his back. That's a little more serious, right, Key? That's bone bruise is a lot different than a pulled muscle. So probably a good chance he doesn't play in that game. I appreciate that info, man. Thank you so much. J. Cole says, can't underestimate Huntley. I want them to play Cooper Rush. Amen to that, man. Maybe we can get Cooper up there. So I agree, man. I watched Stu Huntley play, and I think, he reminds me of, honestly, Malik Willis. It's like that's a quarterback. If you game plan for a pocket passing quarterback all week and you have someone like Snoop Huntley or Malik Willis coming to the game, you're kind of like, oh, crap, throw the game plan out the window. We got to change things up. The good thing about from a Packers standpoint is whether it's going to be Snoop Huntley or Lamar Jackson, they both got kind of the same skill set, right? So you build the game plan the same way, as opposed to like what the Bears built the game plan to stop Jordan Love. And then all of a sudden Malik Willis comes in and they got to really change things up. You got to maybe throw a spy out there, maybe throw a touch spy, maybe throw a little contain rush, little cage rush on Malik. And you see he still cut them up pretty good. So, yeah. Let's see here what else we got in the chat. Anything else? Tyler's asking, Love ruled out. Not yet, but it looks like he's going to play, Tyler. That's the early indicators is that he's in a clear concussion protocol, and it doesn't sound like the left shoulder is going to hold him out. So we did a segment at the front of the show. If you want to just rewind, we gave you all that info, quick breakdown of the quarterback room. All right, so let's go on to limited for the Ravens. You got, hope I'm saying this right, Chidobe Awuzie maybe, limited with the foot. That's a cornerback, right? And then you've got a couple other players that are limited in Keaton Mitchell, running back with a calf injury, and Andrew Voorhees, a guard with a foot injury. They're both limited. And then full participation is Kyle Hamilton, safety with the ankle injury, one of the best safeties in the league, and Jay Higgins, linebacker with the knee, was full participation. So I think both those guys will go. So again, the big news here, in my opinion, is our boy Lamar Jackson. Is he going to play or not? And how much of a drop-off is it from Lamar Jackson to Snoop Huntley? So that is your full injury report, Packers, Ravens, coming up on Saturday night. And we'll keep an eye on this. I'll try to do a stream again tomorrow when actually we may do one this evening sometime when the other injury report drops, just to keep everybody up to date on everything, get in there and have a quick conversation. Got a lot of stuff to get done here at the house, obviously, for Christmas Eve, but we'll try to work it in if we can. But with that being said, if you're watching this video back later, let us know in the comments, how do you feel about the Packers injury report, the Ravens injury report? I want to specifically know how people feel about Evan Williams. Would you put him out there if he's not 100%? Or do you agree, let's hold him out, wait till week 18? If you lose the Ravens, it's not the end of the world, but you're trying to get your roster healthy to go into the playoffs, win week 18, go into the playoffs with a little momentum. Maybe you treat it like, hey, we better win this game right now and not wait till week 18. That could be the case too. Let us know in the comments what you think. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you know when we go live in the future.